Our wants, interests, and desires also affect our perception. Have you ever noticed that when you're hungry, all you notice are food advertisements, or if someone is having a barbecue 12 miles away, you can smell it? We have a cookie drawer in our house, and when I open that drawer, all of my daughter's senses are at full attention. Can you have other examples? Our perceptions make sense as we organize them and we try and interpret what's going on. We never organize one piece of information without linking it to at least 5 other things. For example, I'm at my computer at home working and I hear a knock at the door. Is it just a knock at the door? No. The knock seems particularly loud. I wake my daughter from her nap. I don't see a car in the driveway, so there must be someone selling something door to door. How am I going to get out of buying something? It must be the little girl next door who's selling gift wrapping paper again. See how that knock on the door was linked to a dozen other things in my mind? And as it turns out, she came over to give my daughter her old tricycle that she had outgrown. So I interpreted events completely incorrectly. Let's talk more about interpretation. Let's say you're on a plane and 2 Arab men are sitting in the 2 seats closest to the cockpit. Are you making any assumptions? Let's say 10 rows back you take a look and there's 4 more Arab men seated. You making any assumptions now? We're all guilty of interpreting events, sometimes correctly, sometimes incorrectly. And what are the things that go into how we interpret information? Well, it's all the life events that we've experienced. And it's also the media, movies, magazines, and newspapers affecting our perceptions and how we interpret events. Let's talk about some other elements that affect the way we interpret situations. Past experience affects how we interpret events or judge others. It's on you. From then on out, do you think all women are scum or all men are scum? Assumptions about human behavior. I think we all have them. Some people think all people are lazy or people will steal from you if they get the chance, while other people think that others are basically good and will help if they can. How about expectations that we have? If your boss were to say to you, I need to see you in my office, do you automatically think, oh my gosh, no, or great, I wonder what she wants to see me about? Having prior knowledge or background information also affects how we interpret situations. Here's a scenario from your text. At lunchtime, you decide to walk a few blocks for a quick sandwich. As you're crossing the street at a busy intersection, a car races through, apparently trying to beat the red light. The car comes so close that you literally jump out of the way to avoid being hit. Normally, you'd be pretty ticked off, right? Except that you see the woman coming and you see that it's your 80-year-old mother who recently had an eye operation. So prior knowledge affects how you interpret a situation. Also, your personal moods affect how you're going to see a situation. When you're especially mad or especially happy, isn't the world a different place? You can probably think of examples of your own for this one. Genetics also affect any disabilities we may have, such as poor vision or poor hearing or color blindness. Obviously, these things affect our perception of the world. Also, attractive people are treated differently. Studies prove this. How about tall people? Do you think they're perceived differently, and do you think that they perceive the world differently than a shorter person? Here's a question for you. Has there ever been a short, black, or female president? Can you remember the name of the last bald president we had? No, the perception is that a tall, white president who's lean with a full head of hair meets the stereotype of the person we see. Do you think your environment or surroundings directly affect how you see things? Do you think that people in Alaska are different from people in the lower 48? And if so, in what ways? What are some assumptions we make about Alaskans? Right now, New Yorkers are changing how people see them. And how so? Do you think it would make a difference how you see the world if you live in a safe neighborhood versus a neighborhood where there was lots of gang violence?